y'all, jumping right in, this is what you're going to need to remove your tape in: some C22 solvent and a rat tail comb. You can use other removers or other solutions that'll eat away at the adhesive, but this is just what I personally use to remove my tape ins. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and stick the end of that rat tail comb between the two pieces of your tape in. Once you do that, you can kind of feel that the pieces of the tape in are separating, and in that space you want to spray your C22 in there and go ahead and let that eat away at the adhesive. Now once you do that, you'll see that it's not completely removed. It's still adhesive that's bonded together. So you want to just separate it as much as you can and then go back in with that solution and spray it again, and it's going to eat away at the adhesive and allow the tape in to just easily slide out of your hair without causing any damage. And as you can see here, I didn't lose any hair on that one. I kind of took my time. I think maybe there's like a few little pieces, but nothing crazy. That's the process that I used. I found it to be super helpful and super easy just to get that solution between the tape in, and I really found it to be effective. So just going back through, you want to identify the tape in that you want to remove. As you can see, my tape ins had grown in quite a bit. Yes, my hair is dirty because I'm taking my hair down, so please don't come for me. But once you find that tape in that you want to remove, you're going to repeat the same process. Go ahead and take the end of your rat tail comb, stick it between the tape in, just loosen it up a little bit. You're not trying to remove it at all with the end of the rat tail comb. You just want to kind of loosen up the adhesive enough that you can spray that in between the tape in and get your tape in removed. So as you can see, now that I have that little bitty piece separated, I'm just going to take my C22 and go ahead and spray that in between so that it can start to eat away at the adhesive and I can get my tape in out. Now some areas it'll eat away at it faster. Other areas you may have to repeat this process more than one time. So definitely make sure you have some time, y'all. Like, this is not something that you can do real quick. Your time, because as you'll see later in the video, the areas where I did lose a few pieces of hair, I was just getting a little impatient and I was just kind of ripping them out. So I would not recommend you do that. So definitely make sure y'all take y'all time, and as you can see, you can have a very smooth removal, no hair loss, and just do this the right way. Some areas it's going to be harder for y'all to get the end of that rat tail comb in there. I would recommend using like the same size that I have, like a plastic one, or even the metal one will work. But also, like, my tape ins were in for maybe like 2 weeks or so, or maybe a little longer. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. Like, if you get your tape ins done or you do them and you want to take them out like a week later or a few days later, y'all, it's going to be a lot harder for you to remove them because the adhesive is still going to be so fresh. So that's something to keep in mind too. The longer you keep them in, the easier it is for you to be able to get them out. So just moving right along, repeating the same process. Like, if you just spray that solution on there, it'll really slide right off and you will not lose any hair. These tape ins should not take your hair out, y'all. This is my second time doing a tape in removal. And the first time I didn't lose any hair. Like I said earlier in the video, I kind of ripped out some in the back, which I will see shortly. But that was the only reason that I lost hair. So if you get these applied properly and take your time in removing them, it should not cause you any hair loss or any breakage or anything along those lines. You can kind of see here with this tape in, I had got one side of the tape in removed but not the other, and that's something that y'all will run into too. So as you can see there, I just sprayed that solution on the other side of the tape in and it slid right out. So if you get one half of your tape in removed and the other side is still bonded, make sure you don't just pull it off just because it's not connected to another side. Make sure you still take the solution and spray it on your hair, because that'll just cause it to slip right out and you won't have to lose any hair. Now I will say that this solution did kind of burn a little bit, like not like on impact, but just over time. Like, I sprayed a lot in my hair because I wanted them to slide out. So I would say like after like 30-45 minutes, like, my scalp got a little like itchy and just like a little irritated, maybe is the word I should use. So just something else for y'all to keep in mind. If you're going to use a C22 solution, yeah, it's going to slide them tape ins right out, but be prepared to wash your hair immediately after, like no more than an hour after removing them. And I wouldn't even say even that long. But just something I wanted to make sure I mentioned. It did make my scalp a little irritated, but it did like literally make them tape ins slide right out. So just be prepared to wash your hair right after and y'all should be good to go. I didn't notice anything else after washing my hair. It didn't cause any damage or breakage or anything along those lines. And I did have a friend who said she removed her tape-ins herself and she used a different solution, and she said it didn't cause her scalp any irritation or anything along those lines. So I did order a different brand and I'll be trying that again soon. I'm gonna do another install probably this weekend. So in the next week or so, I should be able to give y'all a review and let y'all know what I think about the other solution, or probably more in like 2 or 3 weeks after I take them back down. So moving along to the back of my hair, just repeating the same process, still using the comb to loosen up those tape-ins, still spraying that solution in, and just really easily just sliding them out. The back of your hair can be a little tricky, obviously, since you can't see it. So like I said, this is something you definitely want to take your time and do, because if you rush this, y'all, like, it's gonna end bad. So really just like feel for the tape-ins, feel for, you know, that little piece that you're trying to separate. And then like I said, you want to try to avoid as much excess as you can on your scalp. So just try to make sure that you're spraying it right in between the tape-ins, and you really shouldn't have any issues. Like you can see, the solution works super duper fast. Literally, I would say like not even 10 to 15 seconds, it literally just eats right away at it and you're able to slide those out. So just take your time, make sure you feel for the area, and everything should be good. Okay, and from this angle it is kind of hard to see in the back, but I was having a little trouble on this little piece on the side. I think when I put the tape in, I didn't evenly put it in, so it was already kind of pulling, and I was just getting impatient, and I literally just kind of like pulled the rest of the tape in off. So this is one spot where I lost hair. It wasn't like a huge chunk, but you can clearly see there like I ripped my hair out. So like I said, y'all, take y'all time. And if you do your own install, make sure that you have the portions evenly distributed between the tape in, which I have another video. I'll link it on here for y'all to check out. But the installation is going to make a huge difference if you experience hair loss or not. So I'm basically just continuing to repeat the same process. Like I said in the back, I was getting a little impatient. So you can see there, I lost another little chunk of hair. But I just kept moving along. As I was kind of losing little chunks by just kind of pulling the tape in out without spraying the solvent on there good, I kind of did slow down a little bit more and take my time. So like I said, spray that solution, y'all, and you will not experience hair loss. Or if you do, it's probably because of the way it was installed. So this is kind of like a weird instance too, where like part of the taping is still taping. You can see a little bitty chunk of my hair was still on there and I kind of pulled it out. So that's something else too. Like I was saying, if the hair isn't evenly distributed, when you put it in, it'll just kind of cause tension and pull your hair out. And like I said, this is a removal video, so definitely check out my install video because it'll go into more detail on that. But yeah, if you kind of have like a little piece that's still on the end taped together, make sure I spray the solution, or that hair is going to come right out with your tape. And this was just another little piece that came out for me, not fully letting the solution dissolve the adhesive. So just wanted to keep showing y'all the little areas. I think that might have been the last spot, maybe one more. But like I said, I did experience a little hair loss. It wasn't like huge chunks, or it wasn't like my hair was just, as I ran my fingers through it, it was just falling out. But definitely the spots where I just kind of pulled the last little piece out, it definitely took the rest of my hair out. See, those last two pieces, I didn't lose any hair, but I'm all finished. So let me know below what y'all think. Make sure you like this video if you found it helpful, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.